everybody, welcome back. So today's video is going to be me continuing on this monochromatic spread journey that I've been on this week. So this is just a quick little flip of the ones that I've done so far. Pink, red, orange, yellow, and today I'm working on green and blue. Going into this, I thought I for sure had something in mind, and I didn't. I think that like every day I come and I tackle these pages, and I pick out pieces that I really like and I think it's going to work one way, and then the page ends up being entirely different. Like Orange's page, man, I had a really hard time with that one. I struggled, and it's actually my favorite one out of all the ones I've done so far. Also, just a quick side note, so a lot of the green images like that you're seeing there are from a mix of Courtney Diaz. I know I mention her like in every video, but yeah, she heavily inspires my journaling style, and I just love her collage sheets. Okay, anyway, yeah, you've heard it all before. She's awesome. So yes, a lot of them are Courtney Diaz, and a few of them are from Journal Pam. So that little, I think he's like a little duck. I don't really know. He's adorable. That little guy there is from Pocket Journal Pam. She's also like an amazing artist, which I know I've mentioned, but yes, I can't talk about those women enough. Like, they're just phenomenal. But anywho, so I had originally thought that I was going to do like watercolored leaves. So those are all set to go with my watercolors, and I just did not end up using them. Yeah, and then here I thought I was going to use these distress oxides, and nope, I was not a fan of them either. Yeah, today was another struggle bus. I think the page came together well at the end, but it was definitely a journey. So there, every time I'm editing these videos, it amazes me just how much or how long these actually take in real time. So like this whole doing just the green page took me like an hour to do. And I know it does not look like that, but it took me like an hour. Um yeah, there's a lot. I talked to my husband about it, and he's like, it's a process, like it takes time, and it totally does. Um it's a lot of fun though, but yeah, these decisions that I make for my journaling pages, like it takes me a while. I will say that the benefits of working on this challenge and has definitely taught me a lot about my journaling style, and it's definitely challenged me. So there were a lot of things that I did with this spread and the blue page that I ended up doing after this one. Things that I had never done before. So, that little flower thing that I made there in the corner, like I'd never really done that before out of collage images, or like, collaging papers together. And, I really liked how it came out at the end, but yeah, it's just something I hadn't really done before. And looking back on this video now, I'm really sad that I didn't go with that little duck dude. And I know, like, he looks, I like throughout the whole entire, filming of this, like, he's just there in the corner, like, I'm gonna use him. And I don't. And, like, I'm watching this now, and he looks so cute, and I kind of wish that I had put him there. But, hindsight is 2020, so I will definitely put that little duck dude with the teacup hat somewhere in my journal. And so, yeah, that butterfly was a beautiful butterfly. Side note, I thought about using the wings or giving, the creatures wings, but ultimately, I think I just went with it, leaving it as is. It's just too pretty of an image to change up. Does anybody else own that antiquarian sticker book? I know I mentioned, I think I might have mentioned it in a the pink video, possibly, about how I'm not a huge fan of it. I've been forcing myself to use it, and some of the images are really cute. It's just I'm not a fan of the fact that I have to trim every single sticker from that book because the edges are just so thick. And yeah, cutting stickers with your scissors, some of the residue does end up rubbing off on the blades of your scissors, and over time it like builds up, and yeah, not fun. Um, so that's one of my biggest gripe was that the big borders around the images, and then that some of the images are just kind of weird. Like they're a little bit too strange for me. Also, that really cute palette is from Lola and Olive Pottery. She's an Australian seller. She's very, very friendly. Yeah, I ordered that because Courtney Diaz had one. I know, it's Courtney again. But like she has like the cutest things, and a lot of times like you look for inspiration, or you don't know what to search for, and so when somebody comes out with something adorable, it helps save you some time of searching for it. But anywho, I ordered that palette and it's super cute, and yeah, I like to use it when I'm playing around with watercolors. But yeah. Anywho, anybody else read webtoons or webcomics? I don't know how I stumbled across them, but I just can't stop reading them. So, yeah, I have the app Webtoon, and I've been reading The Remarried Empress. Oh my god, it's such a good story. Yeah, there are a whole bunch of like web comic series. So that's one that I'm reading. I'm also reading oh god, what's it called? Lore Olympus, I think. Um I think so. Yeah, Lore Olympus is another one that I'm reading. Love Me Not. Um yeah. And then of course I like Wind on a Dry Branch, The Newlywed Diary of a Witch and a Dragon, Men of the Harem. Yeah, I'd like to know if I'm not the only one out there that reads these as like a guilty pleasure. Like every time I discover a new one, my husband laughs 'cause he's like, another one. It's like, yeah, just one more. I think like in total I'm reading like 15 at one time, but they're just so addicting. When I was in high school, I used to read like manga volumes. So I mean, I love them, but they were like so expensive. It was like $10 for like each volume. And I'm a speed reader, so I would read through one of these in like 30 minutes. So I remember back when Hastings was a thing. I don't know if anybody else remembers Hastings or if they still exist in places. But yeah, it was like Barnes and Noble, but you could also purchase used books, so you could sell yours and buy used ones. They had same thing for like DVDs and like CDs and vinyl records and stuff. Anyway, but back in the day, I remember when I would read them, of course, like my parents were not a fan of having to spend $10 like every other week to get me a book. So they would just take me to Hastings, and I'd sit down on the floor and just read the volumes, which I mean, I get it, some people might not agree with that, but like, I grew up the place where I grew up, it was like a 35, 40-minute drive to get to the nearest bookstore. And manga wasn't super popular, at least not how it is now. So, yeah, it was like a big thing, to get my parents to take me. So I, took full advantage. But anywho, yes, I used to read manga a lot. I used to read this one called Mars, and I think it got made into a live action show that I also binge watched. I actually used to own it on DVD somewhere. I don't know where it is. I've moved so many times, so I'm not sure. It got lost in the shuffle. But yeah, so I guess these webtoons are just kind of like, an homage to my younger days of anime manga reading. And here I am, starting the blue. So I had this really cool ephemera picked out, and I ended up using absolutely none of it. So I decided to do something I have never ever done in my journals, which is draw with fountain pen and color with fountain pen ink. I was really, really nervous that it was going to bleed through to the other side. Um, but, it ended up okay. I was just freaking out because it's not like you can erase it. And it was just in the center of my page. And so I just, yeah, I was really nervous. Um, so the inspiration behind this was actually a journal page that I did back in my journal back I think in 2017, 2018, and I had like this blue haired, blue tinted girl with like an orange dress that I drew, and I used a stencil and texture paste to make her shirt textured. It came out super cool. But yeah, so I wanted to like recreate that using some of my enhanced drawing skills. Because yeah, I used to draw faces and they used to be pretty janky. And it's taken a lot of practice. And I recently watched a new video on how to draw faces, and it's helped me out exponentially. When I am trying to draw realistic ish faces, I've noticed a huge difference compared to how I used to draw them. Yeah, I'll even add at the end of this video like what my faces used to look like when I first started out, and even just like up to a couple months ago what they used to look like. I just, you know, I feel like drawing is a lot like math in that there are a lot of different ways to tackle the same problem. I was so set in this is how you draw faces, and I tried the Jane Davenport way. And I know like for some people it works for them and their drawings are on a level that I hope to attain one day. But for me, it did not work for me. Like I tried for years. Like when she first came out with that book for I don't remember what it's called, but I own it, and I tried and it didn't work for me, and I couldn't figure out for the life of me why. It really sucks, but I feel like in the art community and like even in the journal community, there's a lot of comparison that goes on, and um, I found myself doing that a lot. Like I would look at other people's journal spreads or illustrations, and I would just like one, I'm super happy for them, like their stuff is amazing, but then I would also just feel really like down on myself because I couldn't understand why I wasn't at that level where like I'd been journaling for years and trying for years, and I just couldn't. And it wasn't until recently, because, like I mentioned earlier, I move around a lot, but it wasn't until recently where I went through and found some of my first journals where I actually tried to be creative in them, that I saw just how much growth I've made as a journaler and just in like my art style. It's just, yeah, it's crazy. Like, I feel like everyone's journey is different and everybody takes their own amount of time. And while I fully believe that, you know, looking at other pages for inspiration helps you develop your skill, um, I just feel like just keep in mind that everyone's journey is different, everyone's at a different level, and some people just need a little more time than others. So if you're watching this video and you're like, wow, like I really like how she does that, just know that I have not always journaled this way. There was a period of time where I used just a lined notebook and a pen. And I tried a couple washi. When I first learned what washi tape was, like I bought some not great some not great washi, and like I used that for a while. It just, yeah. So don't think that I just started journaling, because like I said, I've been doing this since like 2016. So I've, had a lot of trial and error here to get to this point. And I've watched a lot of really great people journal. I think a lot of the things that I've learned and a lot of the things that I've adapted into my journaling style have been things that I've seen other people do, and I just like loved how it looked, so then I try and incorporate that into my own journal. But yeah, this whole monochromatic spread week has been quite the journey for me, and I feel like it's definitely sparked those creative juices. Was in a little bit of a rut, I felt like, in my journaling style for the last year or so. Um, I really like Tomoe River paper. Like, I love, love, love Tomoe River paper. But the particular notebook that I like to journal in is very expensive. It's like $30 for a single, you know, chunky notebook. And I just, with the amount of money I put into this hobby, because, it's, it does take, it can cost quite a bit of money over time. I just felt like, I'm going to try and, see if I can find a cheaper alternative to the notebook that I liked. And so I spent like 2 years trying out different notebooks. Not because, I'm a slow journaler. It's just that I like chunky notebooks. And typically, a chunky notebook will take me a whole year to get through, or half a year. So, yeah, I tried a whole bunch of different notebook styles or different paper qualities. And I used to do a lot of watercolor, a lot of wet mediums, a lot of really vibrant things on my pages. I tip ins. I freaking love tip ins. I would tip in everything. Um, but when I started that experiment of looking out for new journal inserts, I found that different papers took different mediums differently, and like not all of them worked with tip ins, and like not all of them liked watercolors, and some of them, my fountain pen ink would soak into the paper because the paper was too fibrous. Like, it just, so I felt like through the last like year, 2 years, like I kind of stepped away from all the color that I would use and just relied on stickers and washi tape, which is don't get me wrong, it's still cute. It's just not, I mean, I still had fun. I just didn't have as much. Like, I've been feeling so different when I was journaling this past week. Like, just, you know, I just feel a lot more creative, I guess. Like, I don't really feel hindered. Like, I'm not worrying about, like, how the paper is going to handle my watercolors or my inks. And it's just, it's very freeing, I will say that. Anywho, I apologize for all the rambling for today's video. I felt like making it a chatty one, because coming towards the end of this week, and like I said, I've learned quite a few things. So at the end of this week, I'll probably do like a flip through and just like my biggest takeaways from this. But yeah, so this is my blue page and my green page. I hope you all enjoyed today's video, and if you would like to see more content, or if there's anything in particular that you want to see from me, like, feel free to comment down below, and don't forget to like and subscribe and all that good stuff.